Hello and welcome to WordPress Tip of the Week. This is week number 43. Alright, what we're going to do in this video is we are going to concentrate on setting up the form. In our last video, I highlighted our little mini project, what we're going to be doing over the next 5 videos. So this first one uses a great plugin called Gravity Forms. Now, to install it, of course, you just go to Plugins and then Add New. And then this is where you would upload the plugin. But I already did that. So right now I have Gravity Forms installed, as you can see. So once you have Gravity Forms installed, you can just go over to Forms. And then you can click on Forms to view the current ones you have. Right now, the one that I'm using is called Staff. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to click on Edit. And I'm going to show you how we did it. Now this first one, all I did was I clicked on single line of text, and then I inputted in the field label first name, and then if you scroll down just a little bit, I set this field as required because we want to make sure that we get the employee's first name. So then you can click on this triangle to minimize or expand it, and then I clicked on single line text again. And I did the same thing for last name. So let's expand it out. So I put this in the field label here. And then of course, I also made that required. Okay, so let's go ahead and minimize this. And now the next one I made is for the department that they're in. And I clicked on the drop down. So let's go ahead and expand this out. So I put in, scroll down just a little bit. Okay, so what I did is I put in department for the field label, and then right now we have 4 departments: customer service, finance, marketing, and shipping. So if I wanted to add another one, all I'd have to do is click on this plus sign, and then if I decided to delete it, all I have to do is just click on the minus sign. And then of course I made it required. Now for the placeholder, what I did is I clicked on appearance, and I put please select an option, because this way in the form, this is what they see, prompting them to select their option. Okay, so let's go ahead and minimize this. And then the last one I did again is a single line text, and this is for salary. So same thing, very simple. I put in the field label for salary, and then I made it required. And then when you're done, you just simply click on update. Okay, now we can click on settings here, but I'm going to go ahead and click on forms. And if you hover over it, you can see how it has for settings. Okay, so let's go ahead and talk about it. If you click on form settings, this gives you can rename it. And down here is various things where you can choose a layout. And you can also have a button. You can actually have an image for a submit button if you wanted to. And you can enable conditional logic if you want. And then for longer forms, what you can do is you can actually enable save and continue, where a person has the ability to save the form and then come back later and fill it out. But since we only have 4 entries, that's not needed. And then you can also limit the number of entries. You can schedule the form, and you can also make sure that the user has to be logged in to do the form. Now, in our case, that would probably be a good idea, since this person would be in a company. You wouldn't want someone to just come in and, go ahead and access the form. But just for illustration purposes, we'll just leave this out. And then what we can do is for the different form options, you can enable anti-spam honeypot, and then you can also have animations. And then of course, when you're done, you always want to click on update form settings. So let's take a look at the next thing. Okay, next we can look at confirmations. This is what's given back to the user after they submit the form. So right now it has a default confirmation. So let's go ahead and edit it. Now you can have a confirmation type of text where if you put it in, you're allowed to type what you want, such as successfully entered or whatever. Page, which is what I have, you can have it go right back to, in our case, the page that it was, or you can have it go to like a thank you page or whatever, and then redirect. If you hover over the question mark, this would be for a URL that you want it to go to afterwards. You may want it to go to another site, for example. This could be maybe on a company intranet, and then after they enter it, maybe you want them to go back to the company website or whatever. And then redirect query string, you can actually pass field data via query string. So in other words, to pass the field data to the confirmation page, you can build the query string using the insert merge tag dropdown. Now that's a little bit beyond the scope of this, but you can really do some cool things with it. And then of course you want to save your confirmations when you're done. Let's take a look at notifications. Now notification is what happens with the administrator. This is for the administrator notification. Now if you hover over this, you can see it's inactive. You can simply click on this now to make it active. So right now I have this turned off, but let's go ahead and edit it. This way I can show you. All right, now you can have it basically enter an email, select a field, or configure the routing. All right, so to send to email, it says admin email. This is the admin email that you set up on settings general. See, in our case, it's going to Walt at Walt Computers. So let's go back to where we were. And whoops, go back into notifications here. Okay. And then basically you can have it from your admin email. You can have a reply to. You can also BCC stuff. And then you can customize subject, new submission from, or you could put a new staff member added, whatever you want. This will be the title in the email. And then this is where you can type in a message. Now all fields, this will submit back everything that you entered into the form. So you can customize this a bunch of different ways. It's very flexible. So next you can take a look at entries. This is what's been entered into the form. And just simply click on it. And right now I only entered one just for testing. And then of course you can click on preview to see what your form looks like before you release it. Alright, so that wraps up creating the form. So in our next video, we're going to go over how we can embed it in our template here. So that wraps up this week's WordPress tip of the week. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I invite you to like the video and subscribe to our channel. And until next week, take care. Bye.